Welcome in, everybody, to the DGD Podcast. Your host, Robert Reynolds, Keon, right here as well. Brought to you by the Fans First Sports Network. Guys, we're not even done with the 2024 season yet, and Greg Sankey and the SEC wants to go ahead and slap the entire 2025 schedule out there. So, we're going to take it and do a quick breakdown on that. Hey, if you're a season ticket holder, you are good to go. We're gonna talk about that. Keon, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Also, trying to tune in to this Raiders Falcons game while we're live here. You got it pulled up on the screen on the phone. So, let's get into the schedule.
Keon, that sounds like you were watching for obvious reasons. You're trying to get Shadur Sanders, aren't you?
Yep. So,
Don't even have a watch on right now, but it's all good. You get the deal. Let's jump straight into it, man. Like I said, 2025 schedule released a few days ago, and very, very interesting, right? I think we're used to the 2024 season. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll break it down into 4-game pieces here, and then we'll talk about that real fast. So first things first, Georgia opening up against Marshall at home. Then Austin P, followed by opening up conference play. Get this, on the road at Tennessee before a bye week, and then you go and play in week 5. You go and play
Bama, baby! Bama! Bama!
this time in the hedges, though. This time they're in the hedges. So let's break that down. Let's look at those first 4 games. What sticks out to you in those first 4?
Playing Tennessee so early, that's something that is kind of different to me. We usually play them in the latter part of the year. So getting to play them early, clearly Sankey isn't trying to do any favors for us there, and on the road. So it's going to be it's going to be a hectic environment. So it's going to be interesting. Uh, we're losing a lot. Tennessee's losing a lot. They're losing guys in the trenches. So are we. So I think it's going to be interesting. Then having the bye week to then come home to host Bama. As a person that plans on being a season ticket holder next year, I'm going to be at that game. Going to be at the Bama game for sure. So really excited about that. And it just kind of looks like some of these games, outside of a few, they kind of got them lined up. Similar, yet again, outside of the Tennessee game, from what I'm seeing so far, kind of got them lined up to what they did last year. That Bama game still has a bye week. Still has a bye week that jumps out in front of it. So, yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah, I think obviously and listen, I've heard Tennessee fans on social media saying, "Oh, why are y'all scared to play Tennessee?" No, we're not. Just interesting, right? I think we're used to that game being in late in the season, but now you get to sit there and give them an L in their house very early in the season before it gets even remotely cold. So just my thoughts there. Listen, I'm not looking to be too far ahead on this because there's so much going on with the portal right now, and both teams are in the playoffs. But if I'm thinking ahead, I feel like that's a decent setup for Georgia, right? Again, I'm not sitting here getting way too far ahead of it because it's 2025 and our season is still playing, right? Simple as that. I will say, though, they're losing a lot of people. So are we. I think it's just going to boil down to, who loses the most and who can replace that in the best way possible. So we'll see how that plays out. But the Week 5 Bama thing, I'm not opposed to that. I'm really not. Again, it's at home. I'm expecting that play. And listen, the first conference game, they haven't been to Athens in a very, very long time. So I'm expecting this place to be a world different than what the last time they were used to when they come here. Because I know they're going to travel here. I just think that Georgia is going to – they're not going to sell their tickets for this. you'd be crazy. You'd be crazy to think so. You would have to assume that, right? You would just have to assume that you'd be crazy to sell your tickets. Yeah. Marshall, right? I think it's going to be interesting. Marshall is a conference champion, so it's not like you're just playing. You're not just playing some scrub. So that is beneficial there, even though it is. It could have been UCLA on the road, though. Should have been, but they canceled the series. So that's something unique there as well. That is something worth noting, I thought. But yeah, that's the first 4 games. I'm excited for those first 4 games. And I think the interesting part about it as well is what comes after. Because on in the next 4, you go to hosting Alabama to hosting Kentucky. So another physical game right behind Alabama. Then you travel to Auburn. Then you've got Ole Miss. After Ole Miss, you have a bye week, and then you're in Jacksonville again for the cocktail party. That one's a little bit tricky right there. I think that stretch right there is going to be interesting.
Why do you think it's going to be interesting? Let's hear it.
Well, I think for me, you've got the like I said, you bring in Bama, and we know how Kentucky is. Kentucky's just a physical team. I don't think they're going to be that well. I don't think they're going to be that good. But again, this is way too far in advance. I think they're a physical team nonetheless, so you have to keep that into account. For then, you sit there, you go on the road to Auburn. Anytime you go to Auburn as a Georgia fan, you're sweating a little bit. It's just the voodoo in that place. It really is. It really is. They've got Cam Coleman, things like that. I don't trust them still, but it looks to be, with what they're doing in the portal right now, they're at least doing due diligence to try to address the situation and the issues that they had, right? You bring in Jackson Arnold, you bring in Ashton Daniels, you're hitting the portal hard, and you're bringing in some recruits through high school recruiting too. So they're addressing these issues that they had this year. There's no excuse for Hugh Freeze not having a quarterback, if you ask me. And you'll be at home. So I think you look at that right there. And then obviously Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat the shit out of us. Will it be a get back? You'll have them at home. Better make it happen, because they're hitting the portal hard as hell too. So they're loading up extremely well for next year as well. And we heard what Lane said. Once we beat them 2 years ago, he went out there and spent the millions on getting the class to try to beat us. He did. Looks like they're trying to replicate it and sustain it so that they can try to do it again. This is your get-back game. Obviously, bye week. Then you got a DJ Lagway-led Florida team. Let's be honest, that game was interesting. Had he not went out, that game could have been a different way with how that game was being played. We'll see what happens. I just don't know if Florida's got it in them to beat us with Billy Napier. But I still think that'll be interesting nonetheless. That's what I think is interesting, those 4 games.
Yeah, you mind pulling that schedule back up so I can see it again? All right, so for me, I do think Kentucky they're not going to be anywhere. They're going to be a lot worse of a team next year. I think us going to Auburn is going to be interesting, because knowing Greg Sankey, knowing the SEC, and honestly knowing our luck. Well, leave it up. I just want to look at it. So knowing our luck, October 11th, when we play Auburn, knowing our luck, that'll be a fucking night game. So, I mean, we all say that Auburn is spooky. We all say Jordan Hare is spooky, and they got witchcraft and all types of craziness there. Then you're right, following that back up with Ole Miss. I'm a firm believer, if last year's game was played in Athens versus Ole Miss, I believe that game goes differently, because not only are you talking about guys playing in the middle of a hurricane that was finna hit, it looked like a monsoon going through there. But yeah, you're right. Uh, Lane Kiffin was definitely trying to build classes. Was able to go into the portal, be able to build the team, and be able to go from there. And then what? Pull it back up again. I'm just trying to look at it as I go through. And then Florida, the bye week. Then we have the cocktail party. I personally plan on going to this game again because it was an amazing game. I love the atmosphere and the alcohol was flowing. So definitely think that's going to be good, especially a year or two of Lagway being the starter and playing. Then after that, you follow that up with Mississippi State, Texas. What is that? Charlotte, and then you're back in Mercedes-Benz Stadium for Georgia Tech, with Texas and what is that? Charlotte both being home games.
Home
Am I
games.
correct?
Yeah,
Yep.
both of them are home games.
Yeah. See, I think that's going to be very interesting to see. I'm really excited about it. I think Texas. Look, I'm gonna tell you, as a person that went to the Texas game last year, that was it was exciting for me. I will tell you this: the crowd wasn't really crazy for real, but um you bring Texas to Athens, it's gonna be insane. And you're talking
Because I think
about
this is
Arch.
their first time ever, won't it be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Arch playing. It's gonna be huge. And I
Yeah,
also plan on
that'll
going
be.
to that game too.
Yeah, see, I know for me, looking at the totality of the schedule, right? The fact that you got 3 true road games and you got a lot of home games, that's beneficial for me. I love looking like that. Let's take this comment right here. Sacred Grove says, "Look like we can sustain 2 to 3 losses as long as we get in the SEC title game. With the home games that you've got, I'm here to tell you, you got to win those games. We had the benefit of a doubt losing 2 games here on the road, but we also had a ton of road games. I think next year they're going to look at it a different way. I don't see the committee being consistent, so that's my thought. That's my thought. You've got Alabama on the road. Keep in mind, the portal is still ongoing, and Bama's getting depleted. It's interesting to see what's going on there because they've had some big time names go to the portal. Otis, Mbakwe, right? The guys that some interesting names, I'll say the least. Now, at the same time, I'm not discrediting the fact they can't go into the portal and pick kids out. I'm not going to say that. They won't. But it's definitely interesting because as we sit here in December of 24, right, and you're looking at, 9 months away from another year of football and this schedule coming to fruition, I don't know if the committee does the same thing in regards to how they rank everything and how they seed it, what they look for, right? So Kirby's kind of right. It's been inconsistent. So I think you got to win the games. I don't want to trust losing 2 to 3. I really don't, because I don't want to pull a Clemson and just skate your way in, behind, like just backing your way in. I don't want that. I don't want, especially if you've got 7 home games. You are muted, sir.
As Sacred Groves, I see you. SMU ousted Bama because of the extra game for SMU. Not just that, you also got to look at that Oklahoma loss. I've said it multiple times on multiple platforms that the Oklahoma loss is really what screwed Alabama's season when it came to them making the college football playoff. Had they win that game, I mean, you can make the argument, but even then, like losing that game is really what pushed them out of the playoffs. Plus the fact that up until the ACC championship, SMU didn't take a conference loss. They beat everybody on their schedule up until that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's not wrong either. Talking about the championship game helped Clemson, yeah, because Clemson would not have been in
At
had they
all.
not won, had
At
they
all.
won the conference championship. So yeah, you're not wrong, but at the same time, you don't want to leave that to chance and that much help if you can avoid it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I look at it this way. I think you can handle Marshall. I think you handle Austin P. Right? we're going to be breaking in a lot of new guys too. But you sit here, Keon, me and you sat here and talked about these guys. The guys coming in next year in this 25 class, on top of what we've got on roster now, I'm excited to see these guys play. When you can give me Ellis Robinson and DeMelo Jones, I want to see Andre Evans. I want to see a new kind of style offense. We don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like, but it could be Gunner, it could be Puglisi. You can see Rashada. We don't necessarily expect Carson Beck to come back, so we're prematurely talking like this. But it is what it is. And then you're going to have to find the guy behind ETN, barring he doesn't come back, right? Sacred Grove says Justin Williams. Keon, that's one of your guys. Give me Chris Cole.
Yeah.
You'll still have Raylan. You'll still have CJ, KJ. Right? It's going to be interesting. It's going to look different. But part of me thinks that the guys that are coming back next year can make especially on defense. Keon, I'm excited as hell about this defense. The guys that are coming back, you're going to lose Michael, you'll lose Chaz, you'll lose Warren, Stack. I get that. But there are some dudes coming back, and I'm excited to see them because I genuinely think if you give me a full season of Gabe Harris, sign me up. Sign me up for that.
Most definitely.
Just saying.
No, I mean, most definitely.
Well, you'll get Cole and Justin Williams too, and I'm not mad at that. But I do think I will say this with Marshall, with Austin P. I do need Georgia to handle those games to make it to where your reserves can play. This regular season, we didn't get that luxury. You have to make it that way next year. Just have to say it. You just have to say. I need to see Absolutely. Those guys come in. Let's see. Sacred says we should get Roderick Robinson back for the playoffs. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge because I think if you get him and ETN going and add Nate Frazier in there, but it's gonna be hard to stop that.
No, that's a fact.
It's gonna be hard to stop those running games. And honestly, you look at, and obviously on last episode we talked about we made our case for and against Georgia winning a national title with Gunnar Stockton. Those guys coming back will help him make it easier for him to play the game.
So I did want to ask you, out of all of the games on the schedule, if you could give me your top 3 favorite games on the schedule and why.
Mm-hmm.
Love to hear it.
First one, I'm going Bama. I think I just want to see them not in Tuscaloosa. I just want to see them in Athens. I just do. It'd be hard pressed to believe otherwise on that. 2, I think you're looking at Texas. I think that makes sense there for me. And then 3, I'm curious. I know it might not be one that you're expecting. I'm going Georgia Tech in the Benz because potentially you could have 2 weeks playing there back to back at the end of the season. And Ole Miss is Ole Miss. I knew that was probably you were expecting that to be the 3rd. But for me, if you can tone Georgia Tech down some, do it. Do it. Just do it. What about you? What's your 3?
So for me, I would say Texas. I would say Bama. Mostly, so Texas, because I want to see them in Athens, right? Like that's the biggest thing for me. I wanted to see them in a true road environment, not just in the bins during the SEC championship. Like, no, we came to your house and y'all saw what we did. We all saw what we did. Now you come to our house and let's show you how this really goes. Like, I want to see, I want to hear that Georgia crowd going crazy every 3rd down. and I'm looking forward to being a part of it. That's why I can't wait until these tickets drop, because man, I am so excited. I am so excited. Also, Alabama, I would say Alabama would be the second one. Um, Honestly, it's been so long, bro. It's been so long since we played Alabama
I
here.
think it was '08. I think it was '08.
Yeah, yeah. Like you talking well over a decade ago. So it's like to finally get them in Athens. I'm looking forward to that. As well as my last one. Hmm. Ooh. Yeah, I'd have to say it's Ole Miss. I'd have to say it's Ole Miss, mostly because
To get back. Yeah.
to get back, and plus yet again, bro, I really believe that game last year or this year is a completely different game if that game is played in Athens versus being in Oxford in the midst of an insane downpour. So, but yeah, for me, those are the three games that I look at, and I'm like, all right. Especially like I told y'all, I plan on being a season ticket holder. So those are the three games to me. Those are must see. I gotta go.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I mean, I think we need to take advantage of the fact that you got 7 home games, if you
Yeah,
will. Take advantage of that, because if you see anything here, right, like this season right now, having 3 games at home is not ideal.
man, man, and that shit wears down on the players and some more shit. Like it's tough.
I'm telling you
It
right now,
is tough.
I'm already predicting. I'm gonna make this call like 8-9 months in advance. You're gonna hear Kirby 8-9 months from now telling everybody to come out, show support for the team,
Oh,
rally.
100%.
Do the rally cry. I get it. So again, take advantage of the fact that you got 7 games in Athens, and you're probably going to see several of them under the lights.
Yeah,
There shouldn't be any reason. Bama's not. There should be no reason. Ole Miss is not. I don't see a situation. I mean, let's pull the schedule back up. Let's see. Let's do this. How many night games let's make a prediction here as we pull the schedule up.
oh,
Marshall, not a night game.
so I'm looking
Austin
at
Peay,
1, 2,
3.
3, potential 4. So I think the 4 potential night games are going to be Bama, Texas, Ole Miss, and Kentucky.
You think Kentucky will be a night game?
I mean, it
I don't.
sure it
I don't
sure as
think
fuck
so.
ain't finna be Charlotte.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, you know what though? Watch out for just one of these, like, because you do know, like, you got to have one of those like real sluggish games where you get put on like SEC Network Plus or whatever.
I think that's gonna happen when we play Mississippi State.
No, that goes to like Austin P.
Yeah.
That would go like Austin P.
Yeah, they probably give us. Yeah, they would give us one home game at noon. They wouldn't start the season out that way though.
Sacred saying Kentucky or Auburn on SEC Network Plus. No, dude, they'll put. I don't see them doing that.
I could see Auburn.
I don't know
Actually,
if
no, I can't.
What?
No,
No.
I get. No, that's gonna be a night game. That's gonna be the one road game. That's gonna be a night game. The one
Yeah,
road game. That's gonna be a night
because
game.
yeah, there would. I mean, the Deep South Sodas rivalry is one that you're gonna want to see. It's either going to be a 3:30 kick or a night game.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna put that at noon.
No, that'd be crazy. Now, especially if Auburn shows out, if Auburn and Georgia are undefeated somehow coming into that, holy shit, I'm gonna leave that there. Because if we're
Yeah,
both undefeated, if we're both undefeated after that, whew,
boy,
because
that
you would
means
have
that they
already
done knocked
think about
somebody
it.
the hell off.
Dude, we would have already went to play Tennessee. you would have just got done with Bama and Kentucky. So if
If
Georgia's
we show
undefeated
up,
after that,
Georgia show up to that game, Auburn game undefeated, and it's not a night game at Jordan Hare, I'd be liable to tell you we gonna go undefeated at that point. But
yeah.
yet again, way too early predictions.
Oh, no
And
doubt.
I'm not giving y'all a record prediction on what our season is going to be next year before
I'm
I
not
see
gonna.
a down of foot, before I know who the quarterback is and see them play a full game.
Yeah, this ain't the show for that by any means. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull this back up, Keon. We're on the road at Tennessee. We're on the road at Auburn. We're on the road at Mississippi State. I have a feeling all three of those could be night games.
They're not going to do that to us. They're not going to do that to us because if they do that to us, so you telling me half of our schedule end up being night games?
I just get the feeling it could. I'm not saying it will, right? I want to make sure that you understand me on that one. It could. I feel like Mississippi State could try to pull something like that because it is up to them too. We haven't really looked at their schedules either, right? We went on the road and played all those tough games, Keon. Do you really think they're not going to sit there and try to put night games on us too? Especially for viewership? Come on, man.
No, not those three.
So you're thinking it's too early in this. So let me see. You're too early in the season for a Tennessee and Georgia night game.
Yes.
So you're looking at midweek or midday.
3:30. 3:30.
Okay.
For sure.
ABC for sure.
Alabama is going to be our first night game.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Give me Alabama between the hedges at night.
That's going to be our first night game of the season.
Dude,
I'd be willing to bet on it.
I'm sitting here thinking about this, man. Like, you have to go back so far. I think it was the 08 season.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back, the environment there has completely done a 180.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're necessary. Am I missing anything? They didn't come in. Wait, they came in 2015. Did we go there or did they come here?
I think they came here. Chat, let us know. Sacred Groves, let us know.
No, it was in Athens.
Yep.
It was in Athens. 2015. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, for some reason I thought 08. But 2015, they came and beat us 38-10. Kirby Smart, right before he got the Georgia job. Oof. 2015 was a long time away, though, man. I'll tell you that.
Man.
Dude. All right, let's see this. So I'm going to make a way too early prediction here. Just curious, having fun now. Which game, when all said and done, which game will be louder? 2022 Tennessee, 2025 Alabama.
I don't know.
That 2022 was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, I really don't know.
So Sacred says we lost him in 2020 COVID year. That was also in Alabama, not in Athens. I'm going to make my prediction. I think 20. Yeah, I mean Sacred says it here too. 2025 Alabama. That's going to be so hard to top though. 2022 Tennessee, number one in the country, right? Coming in and just dominating, just being that loud. It's Bama coming into your home. And you finally get to show them that it's yeah, I'm gonna go 2025 Bama. I do. I think it's gonna be that much louder.
Yeah, I really don't know.
It'll be. I mean, if it's a night game, there should be no reason for it not to be.
Yeah, see, that's what it comes down to. If it's a night game, I might say possibly that one, but without necessarily knowing, that's the thing.
Well, I have to give it credit though, man. 2022 Tennessee at a 3:30 game was ridiculous. Hell, Georgia's also been loud in what was it, 2021? with Arkansas. That was crazy.
Yeah, man. But I'm glad that we were able to break down the entire 2025 schedule for you guys, because this was actually my first time taking a look at it. I haven't seen it up until now. So, got my real time reaction. But yeah, man, I'm really excited.
Yeah, obviously obviously the 2024 season is still ongoing, but we
Right.
did want to kind of take a look at that while the schedule is still fresh. I'm sure we'll probably go back over this before next season and just figure that out. But I do think it's interesting to kind of get a feel or way too early, right? Again, we're not making a prediction right now. You'd be crazy.
Right.
Crazy to do that.
Right.
Just absolutely crazy. Did want to kind of give a precursor to our schedule with the holidays coming up. So we're going to be doing one more show this week. And then next week, from I think the 23rd to the 27th that week, completely off. We want to take and make sure that everybody spends their time with their families for the holiday season. So we're going to do that right there. Then our next show will be that Monday. I want to say that's the 30th. We'll come on here the 30th and we'll do our preview for whoever we are playing in the Sugar Bowl. So we will do our Sugar Bowl preview on the 30th. Remember, Christmas week, we are taking the time off. Hey, listen, doesn't mean you don't have to sit there and go back through and play some of our stuff from the past. You have a good chance to get caught up if you haven't. But obviously, we want to hope everybody that happy holidays, Merry Christmas for that. So we're going to be doing that.
Absolutely.
And I think what we might do on this next upcoming show, we'll just kind of give you a heads up into what we're looking at too. The latest on the portal, and I think we'll preview these first playoff games. We'll take a preview on that because I think that's going to matter. We've got some takes. With that being said, though, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple and Spotify. Right? Leave us a review. That helps a lot.
Follow us on Twitter. Podcast Poppy is where you can find me, and DGD Rob.
DGD _ Rob.
Rob.
Yep. But also, if you haven't, DGDpodcast.com. Get you anything and everything you need to know about us. Also, Alumni Hall. Hey, it is Christmas time, right? Go to DGDpodcast.com/Alumni Hall. And if you shop on our website, you will get 8% of your order. We will send to the Classic City Collective. Or go in store, mention the show, get 10% off your order. The choice is yours, but you're supporting Georgia either way. Gifts for the ultimate Georgia fan, only at Alumni Hall. Shop now while you can. Or if you're like me, hey, maybe do a Christmas Eve shopping. It might be open Christmas Eve. But with that being said, Keon, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up, man?
Go Dogs.
He said it best. Go Dogs. We will catch y'all next time. Have a good one. Good night, good morning, good evening. We will see y'all next time from the DGD Podcast. Later.